Hello, I'm advocating today for changing school curriculums. And I want to give a huge shout out to Finland for doing exactly that. However, I think we still have a long way to go beyond just the Finnish model and the model in Singapore. So, why am I asking this? Because it's not working. The present school curriculum, which you and I went through, and which others also went through, we went to formal schooling outside of the home. This is just not working. How do we know it? Because our lives are in tatters. Our lives are just out of control. We are electing people who have tremendous intergenerational trauma and have never solved it, have never healed it, to take over, to heal, to really live out what we think society should look at, or should be, or should feel like. And we're putting them at the head and at the helm without looking at any intergenerational trauma that they might be bringing into these offices. They, and then we criticize them when it doesn't work out the way we want. But why is it important for each and every one of us and in every school to teach about intergenerational trauma? Because it has to end. Otherwise, it affects us on every level. This is why when clients come to me to change their relationship with food, I start going back to generations and generations and see exactly what was going on generations ago and what are the intergenerational traumas. So, for example, this is one of the things that I look at. This is so important to know this because we bring this into every meal with us. We bring this into every relationship in our lives, and we bring this into each and every single situation in which we find ourselves. Most of reactions and responses are not even our own. This is what we have been inheriting from our families. So, why is this really important? Because what a child endures during their own childhood has an incredible effect on them and in their adult lives, which often they will repeat if it's not healed. So it has psychological effect. We have so many people who are manifesting depression, PTSD. It's affecting their work lives, it's affecting their personal lives, it's affecting their own presence in their own lives. It totally and completely destroys and really completely gives a whole different meaning to our biology, because when our endocrine and our immune systems are suppressed or are compromised, it often has to do with this as well. So we all have to heal on a biophysical level. So if somebody is very obese, they're not obese because of what they're eating. They're eating what they're eating because of the intergenerational trauma that has been inflicted on them that they have not healed yet. And of course, there's always the behavioral stuff, the smoking, the drug abuse, alcohol, sex abuse, gambling, all that stuff shows up in our lives and just makes us even more miserable. So, school is not preparing us for life. It's so important that schools we're taught conflict resolution, and not as an external thing, but as an internal thing, because all conflict comes from within. It exists within. So we need to be taught about all of this stuff. I was very fortunate to study Bert Hellinger's work, which was just phenomenal, of this intergenerational trauma and ways to heal it and how to deal with it. Very, very fortunate. I pass this on to my clients when they come to work with me. And I just really find it to be one of the most liberating things that I've ever done. And my clients all have really manifested lives of tremendous healing because of all of this work. So we need to change the school curriculum. It's not working. People are getting shot in schools. And what is our solution? Take away the guns or bring in police? It's just unbelievable. Why do we even have police? We don't need them if we solve the intergenerational trauma. And very often they add to it. So it's very, very important to treat our children as the precious gifts they are, as the treasures they are. And instead of continuing the maltreatment of children, which ends up bringing more violence, and the intimate partner violence, which they continue in their own lives because this is what they grew up with or that's what they saw. We need to really address this on a very deep level, and this needs to be done in schools. Instead of teaching us just arithmetic and reading and writing, this needs to be part and parcel of it as well. I'm not saying replace math and or reading or writing with this. What I'm saying is this is the crux of how we lead our lives, and this is really what we need is a curriculum that deals with what is hurting us and what has hurt us on a very deep level. So we need trauma informed care in these schools. And what is trauma informed care? It's an approach or framework related to delivering services that acknowledges the impact of trauma and the attempts to create a sense of safety within this program. So, trauma informed transformation is a cultural shift, a move towards safety focused, strength based, consumer driven, empowerment rich programs that allows us to take charge of our recovery, addresses unsafe behaviors, and prioritizes safety as a platform for recovery. Really, really important. So I will think it needs to start with us finally acknowledging the huge trauma that we created that was done to Native peoples, to Indigenous peoples. In the United States and in Canada, there was a huge, incredible disservice that was done to society at large when the Europeans took away the children of indigenous peoples from their homes, forced them out of them, and put them into boarding schools. Until that is addressed, everything will keep regurgitating back at us. So we need to start with that. And then we need to realize that the only purpose of school is not to force us into being one cook, uh, cookie cutter way of being in the world, but to embrace all of our expansiveness, to allow us to expand fully into the full radiance and full joy and generosity and beauty of ourselves, not to teach us how to become models that is necessary for corporation to thrive or to become consumers. We didn't come here to be consumers. So I'm inviting each and every one of you today to think about what it is you'd like to see changed in the curriculum at schools and how all of these issues can be addressed because they keep coming back at us over and over, and the violence will continue until this is addressed. So declutter your lives. How and why? If we create more clutter by bringing in all of these false subjects that we teach in school rather than looking at the real needs of our society and all of this intergenerational trauma that must be dealt with first, we will never become the magnificent beings of beauty that we are. We will continue creating more violence in our lives and less peace, beauty, truth, and radiance. So please click the thumbs up button if this resonates at all with you. Click the notification button and the subscribe button for us to continue this conversation in these elegantly raw tidbits. And I look forward to seeing you here every weekday, Monday to Friday, on this platform for more. Thanks, everyone, and please think about what you can do.